Welcome to the Old Souls and Seekers podcast, brought to you by Satori Prime. If you're anything like us, you've been around and around the personal development and mindset block quite a few times. You've read the books, watched the videos, attended the seminars, and even worked with a coach or two, and yet you still find yourself searching for more. You may even feel stuck or that you should be farther along than where you are right now. And after doing over a decade of mindset work, we've come to this realization. Mindset work is like a small hit of dopamine that distracts you from your true work. You get these little hits of feeling better, only to be met with the same underlying conditions and patterns over and over again. Now, mindset was an important part of your evolution as well as ours, but it hits a plateau, and now you find yourself ready for that deeper layer of growth and expansion. If you're listening to this podcast, then you're ready to get off that Ferris wheel. This podcast is only for those that are ready to dive deep and do the real inner healing work. For those that are ready to move past more information into actual experiences. If you're looking for more understanding, then you've come to the wrong place. This is a home for old souls ready to fully embrace and remember who they truly are. Ready to make a profound difference in their lives and in the lives of others. So welcome home, dear one. We're excited to be part of your journey. If this is your first time here, just want to issue you a very special welcome to this incredible community. We're ecstatic to have you here. This is kind of a home for the weird ones, the fringe dwellers, the people that growing up you just kind of felt like, you know what? There's got to be something else, right? Like you just looked around and felt like there's just something that everyone was missing. And I do believe, which is why we call this Old Souls and Seekers, I do believe that is because as an old soul, we come here with a certain, I don't want to say information, that's the wrong word, but a certain, having had certain life experiences. And I think some of that stuff comes through. And so when we look at other people, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. You know, like maybe you came from a place where there was just equality, and peace, right? And love. And then when people are fighting or arguing or about like the most nonsensical things, it doesn't make sense to you. Others of us, you know, like you saw maybe parents bicker or people argue or whatever. And you're like, I don't get it. Like, why can't they just see past this? So if you're one of those fringe dwellers, if you are one of those people that growing up, you just kind of never felt like people had it the right way, raise your hand, say I. And I just want to welcome you home. Satori Prime is an idea. And the idea is that there are technologies, there are tools, there are resources out there that allow us to find our way back to that place. And a lot of the clients that we work with will always say this very, very similar thing. Maybe they'll say it in quite a different way, but they'll say something along the lines of like, as they're learning this stuff, it's not like something new that they're learning, but rather a remembrance. It's like when this information hits you, you might have this experience of like, oh yeah, I know that. And you do know that. And a lot of the stuff that we share here is from that place. It's a knowing place that our souls have gone through this time and time again. I was just lucky enough to sit yesterday with new prospect, someone who's going to be joining our programs. And she was just sharing the same thing, like that as she started doing the meditations that we offer. And as she started coming to our Intuitive Mind live event, oh, there she is, that all this stuff was like, she knew it already, right? It wasn't like new. And so the teaching, predominantly the training that we provide comes from a very, very ancient technology. This is something that was shared by Rinpoches. These are like highly practiced meditation practice people in the Himalayas and in India. And like, these are people that just, we're kind of like up on the mountains. And so the only way to get access to this information before was to go climb these mountains. And now, with the advent of the internet and technology, even though at times I know it creates more havoc than it does good, but in this particular instance, it's giving us access to like thousands of years old technology, before all the noise, right? Like humans were just meditating and downloading this information directly from source, but they were living where we couldn't really reach them. Now, that information is coming off the mountains. And even though this stuff is very, very difficult to find, in fact, in speaking to someone recently, they told me there was literally only 5 schools on the planet that are teaching this kind of modality. But it's here. And so if you found your way here, I just want you to acknowledge that there's no accident that you're here. Just let that sink in for a second. Like, how many of you guys, and just let me know in the comment box, how many of you guys, the way you even found this group is a story. Like, there was a serendipitous thing, like maybe you asked for guidance, or a friend shared something with you, or it popped up at like this perfect moment in time. And if that's you, just say I in the comment box and let us know if you want to share anything about that. I talked to a bunch of people, and the stories always blow me away on how people ended up finding their way to here. So someone asked, and I don't know who it is because it says Facebook user on my desk. They asked, when is the next intensive? Which is a very good question. Let me get you the dates right now. It is November. Yes. Okay. I don't know, for whatever reason, didn't see it. It is November 12th and 13th is our next event. And if you already know, yep, there you go. Our followers are even better than I am at this. If you want information on how to get a ticket, you can always go to intuitivemind.live and grab them right away. Yeah, intuitivemind.live. Or if you want to talk to someone about it, or someone that's been through it, you could just say contact me in the comment box, and one of our team members will be happy to reach out to you and share that information with you as well. Okay. Oh, Claire, that was you. Beautiful. Well, I wanted to shift the conversation and really start talking about the energy of money. And I want to do that by actually sharing something a bit personal to give you guys like a little bit of context of how I view energy of money. Sadly, this just a week ago, this past Wednesday, my wife's grandfather passed away, and my entire family ended up going to Philly. And it was strange because we actually had to travel through the hurricane here. So our first flight got canceled. Then we made it to the second one, luckily. And then anyway, we ended up getting there really like 1:30 in the morning, and the funeral was the next day. So we really kind of it was just amazing how we ended up getting that. That was a miracle in its own right. And this event was interesting because it's, in essence, he was turning 90 this year, so he didn't quite make it to 90, but lived 90 years, let's say, and was married for 70 years. Met his wife when he was 13. They've been together for 77 years. It was like a really incredible time, and I joined the family about 15 years ago. And I was just saying to my team earlier today that in the 15 years that I've been a part of this family, every single time the family, and it's a huge family, mind you, like I come from like a very, very, very small family. This is like a huge family with like cousins and aunts and uncles and now so many grandkids, etc. I was saying to them that in the 15 years that I've been a part of this family, we've never, ever, ever gotten together for anything but a celebration. This was the first time we got together as a family for something that was not a celebration. And in essence, it wasn't exactly true, because we really were celebrating this amazing, amazing man's life. And one of the things that this man and his wife were so incredible at, and have passed down to their kids, and now to their grandkids, and now to their great grandkids, which, by the way, in the 12 years that I've been there, they added 12 great grandkids, just to give you a lay of the land. And there's another 3 coming. So, but What's so beautiful is that they are the most giving people. The grandfather, the grandmother, my mother or mother-in-law, I call her mama. Um, they're just amazing at giving to everyone. And I was talking to one of my cousins, and we were talking about this, and he was sharing something about work specifically. And he was sharing how at work, he's one of these guys because, again, he comes from this family. My wife is one of them too. It's like they're incapable of saying no, right? Like they will just bend over backwards and do everything for everyone at all times, even at the cost of their own health and vitality. So how many of you guys can relate to that? You're like a giver, 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 giver all the way through, and you give to the point of getting exhausted, like you burn out from giving. You get resentful because you give so much, and then sometimes, like when you need people, no one's there for you, right? It's like no one's ever there for me. I'm always there for everybody else. You never give to yourself. You're always giving to others. So yeah, if that's you, just in the comment box, say I or me, and I want you guys to see how many of the people really like, and be honest, because this is going to be interesting. There's about 30 of us on here today. I really want you to get that you're not alone. Yeah. And so Sally Forsman has been in our programs. Claire Lamond has been in our programs. So it's interesting. Those that have gone through, you can already like, they're already having that shift. So Ashley, Jana, Kathy, Jenny Wilcox, Trudy, Facebook user, not sure who that last one was. So you can really get to see, like, and I really want you guys to get that. Yeah, Tina, and just really let this sink in. We live in a culture where we prop these people up on pedestals, right? Like your parents, just like this grandfather and grandmother, like impregnated their children with this notion that, again, because they saw them do it, it's like they give, 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 give. Now, just I'll get back to that in a second, but while we prop these people up and it's like, give to everyone, give to everyone, give to everyone, I want you to consider it's like one muscle, right? So like you're working this one muscle, but this other one is fully atrophied. And that muscle is the receiving muscle. So how many of you guys that said that you're an amazing giver would agree that you're not, I'm going to say this nicely, are not a great receiver? Right? Like it's so much easier for you to give to others than it is to either give to yourself or receive from other to self. Because this is like really, really the important piece. And so while you're doing that, I want to offer that, at this wedding, at this wedding, at this funeral, what was very interesting was that so many people came to celebrate this man and honor this man and support this family because of all the support that they have provided for everyone else in their lives. And I mean, like, this is the kind of family that if someone's sick, they will either bring food to their house or they will go to their house and cook food for them. They will drive people to and from doctor's appointments. They will go and buy food and bring it to someone's house. They will just go and sit with someone if they need. They will help you move. They, like, you name it, they do it. Okay. Now, what was fascinating was that we're Jews, and Jews, after the funeral, they sit what's called Shiva. So it's basically 7 days of mourning. And there's all sorts of things that need to happen. But in any event, the immediate family, meaning like the kids, the wife, etc., of the deceased, during Shiva, are not allowed to do anything. Okay, so just they're not allowed to do anything, right? And so we had Shabbat, and during Shabbat, they're actually not allowed to sit Shiva, but they're still not supposed to be like taking care of things, meaning like they can't cook, they can't set things up, they can't break things down, they can't like. And when I tell you, watching the discomfort level of the three individuals, the two children, my my mother-in-law, her brother, and the widow, watching these three struggle with not being able to do something, right? It's like it was in one of their homes. So we have to like set up chairs, set up plates, organize the food, etc., which is all the stuff that they always do every single weekend, every single Shabbat. The whole family gets together. My mom cooks. She like preps everything. She brings everything. They set everything up. They break everything, like the whole thing. And here they're not allowed to. And I'm just watching how, as I'm supporting them, as others are supporting them willingly, like obviously willingly, we're like really wanting to help. They're just sitting there so uncomfortable. And every time I'd be like, don't do anything. We got this. You could just feel like the angst in their bodies. How many of you guys, as I'm sharing this, can relate greatly to what I'm saying? Like when someone's there to actually support you, in you, like inside, it's this internal battle of like, no, I got this. I'll do this. I got this. And so I shared with you that I was talking to my cousin, and my cousin was telling me how this was showing up at work and how he just takes on projects, and like then people give him something and he can't say no, so he says yes, and then he does it, and instead of delegating, now they're like, okay, well, he's already got it, so like we don't need this other person. But he's drowning. Yeah, Trudy says, I feel guilty for letting someone else perform my duties. Okay, so this is really, really, really important. So Jenny's asking a great question. Is this a worth thing? It is and it isn't. I don't like, that's not the direction I want to take this. We can go into that direction, but honestly, like if I told you it was a worth thing, let's just play that out for a second. And I said, okay, you got to work on being more worthy. You can stand in the mirror till you're blue in the face being like, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. You're still going to show up the same way in life. Am I right? Chances are you've probably tried things like that already and it hasn't made the difference. So I want to now pivot. And as you're feeling all of these things of not being able, so let me just read some of these, because Tiffany says, I hate asking for help and feeling like I don't have control. That's really beautiful. Someone else said, if someone wants to help me, I usually qualify it. But yes, in myself, I don't really want to help. Child in me, I want to figure it out my own. Ian, got it. No different. Yeah, beautiful. So you guys are really getting this. So now here's where we make the pivot. For those that watched Facebook back in the, Friends back in the day, every time I said the word pivot, there's that episode where they're like, pivot. Anyway, weird tangent. So feeling that feeling of like not wanting someone to be there to help, right? Like, or really, really wanting to do something, but not being able to take that in. I want you now to imagine that the energy of money and the thing that you have been out there trying to get, replace the word money with the word support. I'm gonna let that sink in there for a second. Replace the word money with the word support. Because the energy of money is the same exact energy of support. Meaning, chills should be right. For some of you, this is going to make you very uncomfortable. You might have this like weird pit of your stomach feeling right now, like the world is sinking, like someone just punched you in the stomach. That's okay too. Sometimes realizations take that. The same energy that it takes to receive support is the same energy that it takes to receive money. How many of you guys have been into circles of money where like you have, you lose, you have, you lose, you have, you lose, and you never quite like get to that place of stability? So you let it go because it's uncomfortable to receive that level of support. And if you think about it, like Support money today is the equivalence of support, right? It provides you a level of safety and support for you to fulfill and do those things that you really, really want. Is this, guys, like, I just want to pause here. Is this making sense? Yeah, someone says, I supported my friend with a 3K loan and agreed to pay me back in 3 weeks. Didn't pay me back, and I hate asking him to pay me back. By the way, I have a rule, hard, fast rule. You never lend money to friends unless you know and accept that you're never getting that money back. Otherwise, I don't do it just because I know it's going to ruin the relationship, and that's not what I'm about. So if I'm giving money to a friend, it's with the expectation that I'm not getting it back. If I get it back, great. If not, not. So now, thank you guys for the feedback. Beautiful. So now here's the thing. All of you givers, and I know you all are. Why? Because old souls, this is why we came here, to give. Right? Like, we're the ones that want to make a difference. How many of you guys really, really want to make a difference in this lifetime? That's who you are. You can't run away from it. You can't turn it off. Like, it just is. And this is what I want to offer, is that the paradigm that you have been living in is that I just need to work really, really, really hard to go and make a difference. I got to, like, wear myself so that there's nothing left. And that's when I know that I'll have made a difference. And I'm speaking from someone that did that. And I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore because what I realized was that I was giving from an empty vessel or an empty cup, however you want to say it. When you learn to give to yourself first, and as I say that, listen to the part that's like, no, that's selfish. I cannot do that. Give to yourself first, fill your own cup, and then from that full cup, now you transmit and give support to others. There's this beautiful, yeah, I wear myself out trying to make a difference. Exactly. This is like most coaches, most people that are in any sort of service business, like, this is how they operate. And then they wonder why I don't have money. Like, I work really hard, I do all this stuff, but, like, here I am still struggling. And the reason that is, yeah, put on your oxygen mask first. And the reason that is because we are incapable of receiving support. Even before receiving support, I would offer that most of us are incapable of even witnessing that support is actually there. Because the truth is, people are always out there to support you. They want to support you. In fact, if you were, like, in order for there to be a giver, what needs to happen? If you wanted to give to someone and they were not willing to receive, okay? So you give and they go, nope, I don't want to receive. You give and you go, nope, I'm good. Give, no, I'm good. How many times are you going to keep doing that? At some point, 1, 2, 3, 10, 30, you're going to be like, screw this. Like, it's not worth it. And so this is literally God or the universe or energy, whatever you want to call it. It is coming to you every single day and going, here you go. And you go, no, 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 I'm good. Here you go. No, 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 I'm good. I got it. Here you go. No, 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 I'm good. I got it. At some point, the universe also, right? Energy wants to flow. So energy goes where there's flow. If energy flows to you and goes, here you go, and you go, no, I'm good, it goes, okay. And it just moves to the next person. And if I'm the next person in line, I'm like, yes, I'll take that. Great. Here you go. Yes, exactly. It's like blocking the flow of giving and receiving. So the shift, if you want to create abundance of money in your life, it's not about the law of attraction. It's not about visualization. It's not about any of those things. You can visualize till you're blue in the face, but if your pathways internally, I'm talking like in your nervous system, if the pathways are blocked from receiving support, you will continue to struggle. It's like one of our mentors said, it's like you can put whipped cream on a shit pie, it's still going to taste like shit. If the pathways aren't open in your energetic body to receive the energy of support, which in turn is the energy of money, you cannot and will not receive money. How many of you guys are picking up what I'm putting down right now? And you're really starting to notice, like, wow, I really block myself off from receiving support. And therefore, I can really start to see how I'm blocking myself from receiving money. How many of you guys are like starting to really track that? Yeah. And Christine is spot on. She said this is a struggle most people establish in early life. 100%, because you grow up. This is why I was talking about this amazing family, right? It's like this amazing family of givers has always struggled. Elizabeth, if it's not clicking, just let me know like what needs clarification. This amazing family of givers, right? Like we pass this on generationally. And as we pass it on generationally, like as a kid, you didn't know that this was going to impact your financial life when you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You just didn't. But everyone always celebrated. Oh my God, look how generous they are. Look what a great, how they're so helpful. And so that became your persona. But they never worked this other muscle, which is like you too get to receive. And something that's been very interesting for me is I began to turn inwards and build up the capabilities to receive support. When I tell you the guys like magic happens, it's beyond. It's like the support that has always been there, kind of like right in front of your face. It's like all of a sudden this thing parts and you're like, whoa, here they are. And now for the first time, I can actually hear when someone says, hey, I want to help you. And trust me, there are times that it still makes me feel very uncomfortable because I'm like, why do you want to help me? I'll give you just an example, like just a month or two ago, right? We're talking to our coaches. And if you're new to this community, by the way, and you ever want to be a Satori Prime coach, it's something that we take people through that process where you can either be like a Satori Prime paid coach or you can go off and do your own practices. So if that's something that you want to get more information on, just say contact me, I'm a coach, or contact me, I want to be a coach, and one of our team members can reach out to you and you guys can have a conversation about what that looks like. I just don't want to take the time here. So we're on a call with them and they offered, not for money, not for anything else, but just to support Guy and I and support this mission of Satori Prime. They're like, how can we help? What can we take on? What can we take off your plate? And I was moved to tears because I know for a fact that that level of support has, in essence, kind of always been around me, but I just wasn't letting it in. And as I let it in, it starts to hit all of those parts right now that someone had said earlier about like worthiness. It starts to hit all of those parts of like, I don't deserve this. Why are you doing this? So my whole thing is like, why are you doing this? Like, what do you want to get out of it? Because as an Israeli, like, I don't know how many of you guys know Israelis, but like an Israeli, also Russian, it's like everyone in Israel is always looking for an angle, right? They're always looking for like a way to get around something. And so Israelis have this thing like that everyone's out to try to screw you. Everyone wants something from you. And so for whatever reason, that's like got impregnated in me. And as I'm like having conversations with people, it's something that just rises up. But I'm now aware that it's not me having that conversation. It's a part, right? Like a part that's trying to protect me So I can honor and acknowledge the part, and this is something that we teach a lot in our programs. It's like honor and acknowledge this part, and then it allows you to dive deeper into the sad little one that didn't feel worthy. So you open it. You open your energetic body. And guys, this is the part that's really, really important. This is not some conceptual thing that you learn and all of a sudden you read, trigger, or rework something in your mind. And it's like, oh, now I can receive more money. No, I want you to imagine that like there's a hose in your body. Okay. That hose is kinked and wrapped and like knotted up. And it doesn't matter how hard you work. Like how many of you guys have worked really hard to try to create more abundance in your life? Like you've read a ton of books, you've been to seminars, you may have even hired a coach, and you're still kind of stuck where you were beforehand. How many of you guys are in that place? Sorry, I'm just getting my pad here. It's really, really annoying. Yeah, I don't know who said me, but yeah. And Christine, Christine's been in our level 2 Awareness Effect Academy, right? It's like there's a level of receiving support that comes first. Tiffany also was in that program, right? There's a level of support that comes first. The money becomes the byproduct of you opening up the pathways to unkink that hose and allow this new energy. Like it's like an energy that you haven't even allowed to dribble into your system. And so the analogy I always give people, it's like, imagine a desert, right? The first rain in the desert, the rain literally sits on top of the ground. The ground is so dry that the rain can't even get through. Then the second rain comes and a little bit of rain goes through. And the third rain comes and a little bit more rain goes through. And by the fourth rain, right now the system, like your system, but the earth in this particular case, is open and it allows the richness of this energy to flow through. And when that happens, and that comes in stages, right? Like little sips, little sips, little sips. When that happens is the world around you will shift. People that were there wanting to support will all of a sudden show up. New people that want to support will show up. Like Guy and I did everything. Satori Prime is now 11 plus years old. For the first 9 years of that, Guy and I did everything on our own. We had no team. It was a 2-man operation for 9 straight years. And as we started to do this work around money specifically, we realized like what we've been doing is we've been chasing money, right? Like all the same stuff that you guys did, like manifestation and law of attraction and reprogram our mind around money and reset the thermostat. Like I did all of it. None of it made a difference. None of it. Because underlying the energetic system, underlying all of it, it's like it can't receive. And so, yeah, maybe a little bit more came and then it was gone. And a little bit more came and then it was gone, right? Like, and you go through that cycle. Now, it's like as support becomes the foundation of everything, everything becomes easy. Money becomes just a natural byproduct of that. But so much more than that. From like, right, like some of you guys know I'm moving into this new house. So movers are coming on Thursday. I just moved some of my stuff here to be here, but like it's hectic. My days over the last like week have just been so overwhelming. We have different contractors here and different vendors here and like having to build this piece of furniture and organize this and you forgot this and run back to the house and come back, all this stuff, right? So I'm in a deep state of overwhelm pretty much entirely. Like I'm exhausted at night. I wake up, I'm like thinking of a million things I have to do. And yet, overwhelm this time feels different. Why? Because I have support this time. And I don't mean like people are here literally helping me move or build or anything like that. There are. But I'm talking energetic support. I'm talking like as I'm processing overwhelm and fully allowing myself to feel overwhelm, I have people that I can reach out to be like, hey, will you sit with me for 10 minutes? I did that with my team this morning. I sat for 10 minutes with my team. And you know what? It's this feeling of like coming back into your own body. It's like you've been out here trying to figure out all this stuff, like gets so loud, so crazy. And all of a sudden it's like, and you find ground and you find space and you find resource where there was none before. And when do you take better action? When you're resourced or when you're under resourced? Yeah. And Trudy, you bring up a really, really, really beautiful point. So Trudy says, let me see if I can share this actually. Trudy says, the last time I went to my family for support, they ended up using it against me later. Needless to say, I don't live near my family anymore. This is crucial. And thank you for bringing this up, Trudy, because this is very important. Most of the people in your life are incapable of supporting you the way that you needed to be supported. In fact, mom and dad, who you keep chasing internally to show up for you a certain way, cannot show up for you a certain way because A, they don't do this kind of work, and B, they don't have that gear. And so every time you go there, what you're actually doing is you're re-triggering that internal trauma over and over and over again, which leads to heartache and disappointment and upset. Am I right? So I want you to consider that what we have here, like this home, this community, is an opportunity for you to tap into a community that actually speaks the same language and that actually can and wants to support you as you're going through this. When I was going through these processes of like finding support, right, I would sit with a mentor once a week. I would get a session, hour and a half session once a week. Okay. Then as that opened up and that expanded, I was like, all right, what I need to do is I need to sit with, or I get to sit with 3 people throughout the week for 20 minutes every single week, 3 times a week. I started doing that and I was like, wow, this feels really great. Now I sit with between 5 to 7 people every single week for 20 to 30 minutes. Plus, I have a session where I receive this level of support once a week. And I'm also offering these sessions to others multiple times, either in group or in person, one-on-one. I mean, in group or one-on-one situations, right? So you can start to see like I'm constantly in the flow and in the field of receiving support and resource, giving support and resource. And as I do that, I'm basically creating this nice, beautiful cycle. And if you look at our Satori Prime logo, you'll notice that it's an infinity, which is what? It is that loop. The giving becomes the receiving becomes the giving, and you just begin to be in this flow. And as you do that, my friends, money becomes the easy and effortless background, the add-on to this amazing wealth of juice that will flow through your body that you'll feel better than you've ever felt in your life. And then money will just come on top of it and be like, oh, great. Now I get to receive that too. And that's honestly what this work is all about. It's not about giving you more understanding about, oh, you can't receive money because when you were in your family, everyone kept saying to you, money doesn't grow on trees, Sally. And like, you're like, oh yeah, you're right. It doesn't grow on trees. Oh, I believe that for all these years. Let me write a new belief. Money is easy and available to me all the time. And you just keep going around your day saying it over and over and over and over and over. Oh, I'm a money magnet over and over and over. Right. And how's it going? That's the surface stuff. It's the surface stuff. This, what I'm pointing to right now, is the big shift that you're waiting. And by the way, you want to take this energy and this awareness effect and use it on money? Great. Use it on money. You want to go use it on your health? Amazing. Go use it on your health. You want to go inject that into your relationships? Great. Go do that in your relationship. Career? Great. Do that in your career. Because as you begin to open the pathways, you receive all the resource for all of it, not just one. And that's what's on offer. So if you're not already doing the meditations that we offer, that would be a great place to start. Who's been doing our meditations and getting a tremendous amount of value from just doing the various meditations, just by doing that? Let us know in the comment box. And if you haven't done the meditations and you would like the meditations, just type in meditations, and someone will get those to you right away. They'll send it to you in Messenger or whatever, and they'll get it to you. And I highly recommend you do that. We actually just finished a 30-day meditation challenge. We're going to start another one next week. So it'd be a great opportunity to also do it and get accountability. Yeah. So I don't know who this Facebook user was, but yeah. Yeah. Caroline says meditations, me doing them and loving them. Yeah. Amazing. They're so helpful. Very different than most meditations that you're doing, but these will begin the process of starting to shift that energy inside. Okay. Now, how do you continue that process? Okay. Truth is that to open up a system that has not received that information, you must sit with someone that already has that template so that your system can learn a new template. Keep in mind, you grew up in a household where giving to the point of your exhaustion was the template. So you're like, okay, great. That's what it means to be human. Okay, great. I'll learn that. You didn't have a choice in that time frame. You guys get that? Like, there's no choice. You didn't say like, oh, that sounds good, yeah, but what are the repercussions? No, you're just like, oh, this is what it means to be human. So you did that. So now, in order to undo that, you get to sit with someone who's worked through this process, and you greatly shortcut the amount of time it takes you to actually get to where you want to get to, a resourced place. So how do we do that? Right? For that, we have different things. So, right, someone asked about the next live event. That would be a great place. Also, there's the Intuitive Mind event. It's a 2-day event. Guy and I lead that, and we take you through these different practices, and we actually pair you with different people so you can start to feel that level of support and presence. We had a woman in our last program who, on the training, basically said that in 53 years of being alive and in 26 years of being married, she had never, ever felt the level of support that she got when she received from that weekend. Ever. She didn't even know what support felt like till she was at that weekend. And that was given to her by 2 strangers on Zoom. Just let that sink in. Support is just something that you're not wired yet to even feel. And when you feel it, it is profound. Profound. You will pay untold sums of money and travel the world to be able to get depths of that feeling. Because once you get it, you realize like, whoa, shit, this is what it's all about. Everything else comes from that. That's like the seed that breeds all this other stuff that you've been wanting. Right? So there's the Intuitive Mind. That's a great option. And then what we've done is we've actually created like a 6-week intensive, which is part of our Awareness Effect Academy. It's our level 1 training where you actually can get intensive training with a coach, going through modules, going with a coach, getting support, getting the live event, all sorts of other bonuses about like primary abundance and things like that. And we have these amazing bundles. So if you're looking to spend the next 6 weeks like really getting this worked out for you, then again, just put contact me and someone will contact me. You guys can have a quick chat with them and they'll walk you through what these packages involve, because you're either going to sit and process this and go, oh, wow, that was really smart, Ilan, that was great. Like, I feel really empowered. And then you're going to go back and do the same shit that you were doing yesterday, tomorrow. How do I know that? Because you're human. And that's not a knock on you. I've done the same thing. I've been doing personal development work for over 20 years. I know how it goes. You get really excited, you get really pumped up about something, but unless there's accountability, unless you put your money where your mouth is, unless you put your ass in a chair ongoingly to receive that support and work that muscle, guess what's going to win every single time? The default, the program that's there. You've been working that program for 30, 40, 50 years, some of you. What do you think? Like you're going to show up on a call once a week and like, oh, here we go. Life transformed. Bullshit. Bullshit. Oh, no. I'll read this one wonderful book that everyone's recommended. I know that'll. No, it won't. You need a template, right? Like we need that. And then once you open your system, now you can start to receive information that is your information, your truth, not my truth, not Guy's truth, but like your wisdom that starts to stream through and it will begin to guide you. Once you get to that place, you'll never need a coach. I mean, I still have a coach because I'm, I guess, slow and want reminders all the time, but like you might not even need one. And that's what it takes. I would love to tell you, like, go do this meditation for the next 30 days and like you'll be all set. I've been meditating every single day for the last 7 years. I'm still working through stuff. I'm just working through it very, very differently. My baseline of life is infinitely different than what yours is. The things that stress you no longer affect me. The difficulty that you struggle with in your relationships, your health, or your money no longer impact me because I'm not in a constant phase of like trying to figure them out, right? I'm in the state of I have so much support and well-being in my system that I just allow them to be. And as I allow them to be, there's no resistance, right? And it just moves through. And that could be you. Look, I mean, Christine was here, Claire was here, Alex was here, right? They were all sharing like, that used to be me, that used to be me. Yeah, it used to be them. And there's thousands of others that have been through our program that used to be them too. But it doesn't mean that it has to be you for the rest of your life. And in order to do that, you got to take a step. Whatever that step is. If that step is like, I'm going to do the 30-day meditation challenge, do the 30-day meditation challenge. That's a good first step. If you really want to take a step, go do that level 1 bundle and come talk to me in 6 weeks. And if you haven't had a major wow breakthrough, then I'll give you every cent back. Promise. I don't get to keep your money if we haven't delivered. Like, why? If you take that 6-week challenge, you put yourself in that program, you go through the program, you show up on the calls, you show up and you do the work that your coach tells you to do. I promise you, it's a fucking impossibility that you won't have a huge breakthrough. And that's it. Like, at some point, you're going to have to leap. At some point, you're going to have to jump off whatever, bridge or thing that you're on and get banged up and bruised on the way down. Because that's just what it takes. Uncovering the areas of our lives that have been hidden from us is not a joyride sometimes. The aftermath of it, pure bliss and joy. But sometimes the during, not so great. And it's the big reason that people really, really struggle with personal development because they keep trying to do it on their own. And if you've been one of those like lone wolf on your own independent island and it hasn't produced results, I'm going to point to that that's probably why. It's impossible for the mind to go look internally at the places that have been hurt. And when you can sit with someone and you can kind of like borrow their safety and well-being, it allows your system to drop into places that you haven't been able to do because the mind can't take you there, right? It's a felt sense experience. Support is a felt sense experience. And it doesn't matter how much money you create in your life, how much job security. If your system is not wired to receive support, it will all disappear. Your system won't allow it. It just can't handle it. Right? Like, so the same way you work out your muscles, I'm inviting you to work out the inner nervous system. Like, as it can open, it can begin to hold more and more charge. More and more charge means more and more inspired thought, more and more vitality, more and more energy, more and more well-being. And then that is what goes out and creates your as lived existence. It's so simple. It's not necessarily always easy, but it really, really is that simple. So if you're up for that game, again, contact me in the comment box, whether you're watching this live or on a replay, and one of our team members will reach out to you. You can have a chat with them and they'll walk you through exactly what that looks like. But if this has been a struggle for you, I'm telling you, you waiting on the sidelines for the money to come so you can do something, you're going to be waiting for a long time, because the energy that you're putting out in the world is, I'll just wait for the perfect time. And the perfect time never comes. One of my mentors had the best line. He said, I know that if I wake up on a someday, a whole bunch of amazing shit is going to be happening all around the world. But every day that I wake up, it's either a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I have yet to wake up on a someday. Don't wait for your someday. Take action in whatever feels good. Commit to yourself. And I promise that's what will change your life. Thinking about it, listening in, it's just not. All right. So I hope this was valuable. I hope this was useful. If there's any way that we can support you in any way, shape, or form, please, again, contact me. We will reach out to you. We will provide anything that we can for you. Thank you guys again for being part of this incredible community, helping, serving others, making a difference in the world wherever you are. I honor you and your beautiful journey. And again, have a beautiful rest of your week. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now. Thank you, dear one, for choosing to share a bit of your day with us. We value you greatly. And as a way to give back and help you to deepen these practices, we want to invite you to join our incredible community on Facebook. You can do so easily by going to joinoldsouls.com and ask for an invite. This is our private community where old souls and seekers are able to grow and share their journey with others. We hold exclusive weekly live streams, we answer your personal questions, and offer valuable insights that we won't be able to share here on the podcast. So again, just head to joinoldsouls.com and grab your invite today. And as always, if you enjoy this podcast, please head to iTunes and leave us a review. It's the only way other people can find this show. So if it's making a difference in your life, please share the love. Until we meet again, have an amazing week, dear one.